it's just gonna do the job for you. It's gonna be like, I'll get you there, we'll take a little while, but we'll get there. What's up YouTube, my name is Vinny and welcome to Road Blast Media. Before we crack on with today's video, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe button. It always helps the channel, so if you haven't done that and you like this video, make sure to do that. Okay, so today's video is going to be the Royal Enfield Himalayan. Why do people buy these bikes? Now they make 24.3 horsepower and 23.6 pound-feet of torque. And they weigh about 190 kilos or 421 pounds. So they're definitely no speed demon. Like they're the opposite. But there is a lot to love about this motorcycle, and there has to be a reason why that people buy these bikes all around the world and they sell out everywhere, and they're awesome bikes, but they're very slow. And so why would people buy these? And obviously a big part of that is the cheap price, but in the end of the day, if something's cheap and crap, nobody's going to buy it anyway. So it's cheap and there's a lot of good things about it. So in this video we're going to find out. So first of all, I'd like to start out with just the way that this motorcycle looks. It has got a timeless and rugged beauty to it. I find it is definitely more pretty than a lot of other adventure bikes out there, and like dual sports and things like that. It's a very, very nice looking motorcycle and easy on the eye, and also comes pretty well equipped to go off-road. You've got a factory sump guard, you've got these guards here too. Like it's a very well equipped motorcycle. It's super comfortable. It has mounts already installed for your pannier boxes and things like that. The tires are pretty decent from factory, as decent as you'll get for the price that you pay for this motorcycle. You've also got a very like good dash up here. It tells you all the information you need. It has a compass, but we all know that compass isn't exactly the most accurate, but that's okay. It's there for looks and it looks cool, you know. But yeah, no, this motorcycle is a motorcycle that will take you anywhere. It's a workhorse. It is a gem of a bike to ride, and it does everything you need it to do, just not very quickly, but it still does everything you need it to do. I've been riding this motorcycle daily since I've owned it. I've done nearly 1,000 kilometers on it, so I feel like it's a good time to make this video because I've been falling in love with this motorcycle every single day that I ride it, and I like it more and more and more. And I wouldn't choose any other bike to ride every single day because it's just one of those bikes, keeps you in check, and it's a beautiful bike to ride daily. And you know, it doesn't let you get too excited and go too fast at the same time. You can stick to all the speed limits, and it's a beautiful bike. So how about we hop on the saddle and we take it and put it to the test. We'll go and hit some off-road roads, we'll go and hit some twisties and have a great time, and I'll explain more about why people buy these bikes. So we'll see you on the saddle, guys. Okay guys, we are at the amazing TECT all-terrain park, and we are going to go for a little explore around and tell you more reasons why people buy these bikes. Now, coming to a place like this is one of them. Exploring the wilderness, as one would say, at a fairly reasonable price compared to some of these other modern day adventure bikes like this one. Yeah, so that dude's on one of those lovely BMWs, awesome bikes, but you know, they are definitely interesting. Why people buy these bikes? It is a bunch of reasons, all right? Price is the first thing, usability, practicality, and a few other things as well, which we will get into, like the fact of how practical it is, how good on gas it is. It is one of these things that just, I don't know, it makes you feel alive, and it makes you feel totally in control because the bike doesn't get away on you, but you can actually still have some serious fun on it. So like, I can whip through some twisty corners at actually surprisingly capable speeds for a bike of this price, and a bike that is as slow as it is. It can actually handle really well. The brakes and suspension keep up really well through the corners and things like that. That one was a little close for my liking, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, so we're cruising through these beautiful, beautiful sort of forestry roads of the TECT all-terrain park, and yeah, it's one of these bikes that is for the people that like to take the scenic route, if you know what I mean. Somebody who's not too fussed about going that fast, you know, not too bothered about having a bike with 100 and something horsepower and doing well over 200 kilometers an hour. It is one of those things where, you know, it's never really going to get away on you. And I think that's a big appeal of this machine, is the fact that it's so approachable to basically everyone. The fact that it has low power also means that it's really good on gas, and you can just have a ton of fun with this machine. It is a workhorse, like I say, and I've been using this every single day for the last, ever since I bought it, month and a bit ago. And honestly, I just have to say that it's just it's amazing to ride every day. I ride it on the highway, I ride it through the town, just get to work every day, rain or shine. And this is one of those bikes, it's a rain or shine bike. It's not the flashiest thing, which means that you really don't care if you ride it in the rain and it gets muddy or it gets wet, you know, it's all good. It handles so well in the rain, better than any other bike. I felt more comfortable on this in the rain than any other bike I've ridden, and that is a big thing due to the just the actual fact of the low power of this, and why that is so appealing. It's never going to get away from you. You're never going to pull out of an intersection and spin the rear wheel up or anything like that. You're just not, because it's a, you know, it doesn't have enough power to do that. But that's a good thing, especially like on, you know, your everyday sort of ride. No, it's a whole feeling, this thing. Like, it is an extremely fun bike to ride, and it always makes me laugh and have a bit of a crack up, you know, because I really love just the way that this thing behaves. It's not an outrageous motorcycle, but you can ride it almost like it is one, and you're always chopping through gears and having a good time. Like, just check out handles like on this gravel road. It's real good. Probably not the best, like, compared to other bikes, but I mean, it's still bloody good. And they've actually redone this road, so it's not as bad. I was expecting some pretty heavy gravel, but yeah, we're carrying 100 k's an hour on this like pretty loose chip, and we're fucking sweet as. So anyway, we're at the old mountain biking track. Yeah, another thing I love about this is just how awesomely comfortable it is to stand up on and ride it around. Alrighty. But yeah, so coming to places like this is one of the reasons why you can, well, why people would want to buy this bike. But like, it's another one to just, you can just kind of stand up and just like have a look around, you know, have a bit of fun, and just yeah, have a gaze at your surroundings. This is the bike for the person that's gonna, he just wants a bike to do everything that he needs it to do, you know. Like, it'll get you to 100 k's an hour. It might not get there in 3 seconds, but it'll get there. And it gets there reasonably quick. It just doesn't go much further than that. But it's for the guy who, you know, he's not fast about going fast, just wants a comfortable ride. It's fun to drive, and it's, you know, it keeps your wits about you, even though it's not ridiculously fast. It's still, you're chopping gears, you're keeping up to date with what revs you're at. It keeps your brain activated most of the time on the ride, and there's nothing really in this doing anything for you, you know. You have a pretty basic ABS system, a very basic fuel injection system that still needs a choke for those cold mornings, which actually probably would come in handy if you lived way out in the, like, in the Himalayas and shit. And yeah, no, it's pretty wicked little bike just for day-to-day commuting and everything like that. That's the main reason I bought it, was an everyday bike. I wanted something that was comfortable in the rain, because in New Zealand our gas prices have well, let's just say they're so ridiculously expensive that I chose to give up on cars altogether. And I was a massive car guy, like, I loved cars, but the fact that a whole working week of me going to work and back every single day, and I live I live a substantial distance away from work, so in a car I was spending about $114 or $120 a week on gas, like on average. In this bike I spend about 23, so that's spending about 5 times less on gas. All that money saving can go into like modifying this bike and things like that as well. And that's another reason people buy these bikes, is
the modifications and the customizations are reasonably cheap, and also you can actually get a lot more out of this bike if you can change the cam. You can get a TECT performance cam, which I am planning on doing. So yeah, make sure to subscribe, because I got a lot of modifications coming out for this bike. I got a DNA air filter on the way, and I've heard that actually makes quite a substantial increase in the way that this bike behaves in the top end. So I'm very excited to see how that will go. And also I have a LexTech exhaust on the way that it's getting personally sent to me by LexTech for me to do a review on it and give you guys my thoughts. So I'm really excited to get an exhaust on this and other things, and kind of wake this bike up a little bit. But yeah, back to the whole subject of why people buy this bike. It is the fundamental thing. This bike is cheap, real cheap, like to all of the competitors, unless you're talking like some real crappy Chinese ADV bike or something like that. I know China's actually coming out with some pretty wicked bikes, but even the Chinese bikes are more expensive than this, like the high-end ones, that is. But yeah, no, so it's, oh, we'll go down here, we'll go to the gun ranges, eh? But yeah, so people buy this bike mainly because it's a workhorse. It's a reliable, trusty bike. It's like the old guy down the road. You know, you can always rely on him to give you a hand. He's always going to be there. He might take a little bit to get down to your house, but he'll make it, and you guys will get the job done in the end of the day. It's a friendly bike. It is a bike that, you know, you could be comfortable looking after your kids. It's trusty and reliable, as they say. It is the sort of, I don't know, it's the definition of just a friendly vehicle. It's never going to get out from under you. It's never going to try and throw you off at it like a bloody bull. It's just going to do the job for you. It's going to be like, I'll get you there. We'll take a little while, but we'll get there. So, like, see that? That was like a nice little acceleration on the gravel, bit of tail spin, and a bit of rear wheel, you know, sliding out. You also have switchable ABS on this bike, so you can turn it off and slide out the corners. Although I am not a very experienced adventure rider, as you could probably see just by my sort of jittery skills, as they say, on the gravel. But yeah, as you can see, like just on the off-road, it feels honestly like nothing. Like the suspension on this thing is actually pretty magic for what the bike has to offer. It can still slide a tail up though. It can still slide a tail up, and you can still have a ton of fun off-road, you know, like blasting on the gravels and everything like that. You might want to brake a little earlier to the corners and things like that, but in the end of the day, like, it is a great beginner adventure bike, or even just an adventure bike for anybody, because it'll get you anywhere. I mean, there's people that literally crossed, like, or at the moment, I don't know if they've done it or not, but Royal Enfield like got a couple people on some Himalayans, and they're crossing Antarctica on the bloody things. Like, they're absolutely trusty and reliable, and just, you know, a ridiculously practical bike. You can kit it out with bags and panniers and everything like that, and just, you know, it'll just go all day long, and it'll just sip fuel as it does it, you know. It'll just barely drink any gas, you know. It'll be your best friend, and it'll last you a long time. And when you're out on the road, it's really easy to work on and repair. Like, if you have anything go wrong, it's got the built-in center stand. I think a lot of ADVs have a built-in center stand, but yeah, anyway, in saying that, yeah, it's got the built-in center stand, so you can do chain adjustments and stuff on the road. You can do lots of things with this, really easy to work on, and it is actually just a really brilliant bike. And like, seriously, like, I know that the price point is a massive reason why people buy these bikes, don't get me wrong, like, I know that, but it is not a bad bike for the money. Like, it is actually a very high value machine for what you pay. I mean, in New Zealand they're a little bit more expensive than anywhere else in the world, and they're still the cheapest adventure bike on the market. And like, I know the KTM 390 Adventure is a pretty formidable machine for the money as well, but it is a good $4,000 more than this, and, you know, around about $4,000 more than this. And I had a KTM RC 390, and obviously it's different, but it shares the same engine as the 390 Adventure. And yeah, it was a fun little punchy bike, but I sold that to buy a Royal Enfield, and then I ended up buying this, and honestly I had more fun on this than the RC 390. I really don't know why, but I do, and that's just one of those things. So this is going down to like the more motorsport area of Tech Park, so this could get a little interesting. Oh, we got some more gravel, better slow it down just a little bit. I do not want to overcake these corners, as it's once said. Yeah, so I just love this. You can just stand up on the foot pegs and just, you know, blast through the gravel, and it just eats bumps for breakfast, this thing. Like, it really doesn't even phase this bike at all. You barely feel them, like no sort of jittery or vibration through the seat. A little bit on those jittery bits, but really not much like to worry about. It is a pretty wicked blimmin' bike to go off-road on, and you can just adventure around and have a great time. See, kick up a bit of dust. I'm always smiling on this thing. That's another reason, because I was skeptical before I bought this. I was like, man, it's gonna be too slow for me, you know. Like, I like going quick. I love blasting out of my GT 650. I've ridden a Triumph Tiger 800, which has like 80 more horsepower than this bike, and I like that. But when I actually rode this, the characteristic of it, I just loved how friendly it was, and I loved that it was real rugged, you know. I love that rugged beauty to it. It's almost like when I've been to South Africa before, and when you go to like the desert parts of South Africa and you look at it, and it's rough cut, and there's lots of greys and browns and whatnot, and in the end of the day you look at it and you go, this is bloody beautiful. It's just like the Himalayan. It's gorgeous, but in its own special way. It's not like the Interceptor. That thing is like a work of art. This thing is beautiful in the sense that it's a tough and rugged machine, and it can just handle a lot. Oh, we got some little motocross kids on their little beginner track. That's awesome. But I'm just sticking to the gravel roads on this thing. This ain't no motocross bike. Do not get it wrong for that. It is no motocross bike for sure. Oh, there's a bit of deep gravel there. But like, as you can see, like, I am not an experienced gravel rider or anything like this. This is actually the second time I've been on like a proper gravel road on this thing, so it's been very exciting for me. But yeah, like, it just handles well, and you can just baby it through. Like, it's never gonna jump out on you. I feel like if I was on a bigger power machine and ripping the throttle like I was, I probably would have already skidded out and fell off or dropped the bike, but not on this thing. It is yeah, bloody friendly. So anyway, we better wrap this video up before it gets too long. I don't want to bore you. Okay, so we'll come up here, fly up onto that. Alright, so this is some rough cut terrain. Get it bumping. Alright, okay. So that was a little tour around Tech Park. I hope you enjoyed it, and also, like, hope you enjoy the spiel on the Royal Enfield Himalayan. So this is why people buy these bikes in a nutshell. First of all, it looks better dirty. Look at that, you got the dust on the tires and things like that. It's one of the few bikes that looks good with a bit of dirt on it, and that's always a bit of fun, because then you don't have to wash it all the time. Although, yes, always wash your bike, you know, now and again to make sure that it's not going to have any shit getting stuck anywhere and things like that. Always check it over after a ride and give it a good clean up. But you can appreciate a bit of dirt on a Himalayan. It, you know, makes it look like it's been to work and done a few things. But yeah, the real reason people buy these bikes is it's an affordable, reliable and trusty little machine. You know, that does have its downfalls. You know, there is a couple of things that people may not like about it, whether it's because it's a little bit underpowered, possibly because it's air cooled and things like that. It's a bit heavier than your average adventure bike, or at least a bit heavy for how much power it makes. But you know, in saying that, a lot of people don't really give a crap about going fast, and when you're on the gravel, it's not like you're going to be blasting at 150 or whatever, you know. Like, it'll still do some high speeds and some gravel and keep up. The tires on it are probably not the best for real rough, like, adventuring, but like, they can handle some solidly off-road roads and things like that really well. It's an all-round really beautiful looking bike, and I think that's a lot of the reason why people buy these compared to other adventure bikes, like the KTM 390 Adventure, for example, which is, I would say, is like a close competitor to this thing, is a more capable bike. It's lighter, it's faster, right? But I think a lot of people share this. Like, it's not a bad looking bike, but to be honest, it's a pretty Frankenstein looking machine. This thing has a bit of beauty to it, a bit of class, you know. It's got the lovely Royal Enfield logo on the side. You've got the lovely round headlight that kind of pays homage to Royal Enfield's classic style, but also has a rather modern look to it. You know, you got Himalayan and quite a like futuristic sort of font. The exhaust is really lovely. You got that stainless steel exhaust coming back with a nice looking tip. You know, it's not so bulky. It's really nice. The engine is beautifully done. I love this Royal Enfield sort of polished logo on there. There's a lot to love about this machine, and for the price you cannot complain at all. It is seriously value for money wise. This is the best $8,000 I've ever spent. 8,000 New Zealand, for example, so it is going to be less in other countries and things like that. Our conversion rates are a little different, so don't freak out when you hear 8,000 and think it's like 8,000 US or something like that. No, 8,000 NZD works out to about 5,000 US around about, and even I've heard they're even cheaper in India. So you can understand why people would want to buy this bike. It's just an everyday killer, nice, just lovely bike to ride. I mean, I've ridden it every day. I love it more. I choose to ride it over my Continental GT every day because it's so much more comfortable, so much more friendly to ride. It does everything I need it to do. It's lovely going through traffic. You got good visibility. The fly screen works really well, keeps wind out of your face. It's super stable. There's a lot to love. You know, you really can't go wrong. I would say out of all of the motorbikes in the world, value for money wise, this is one of the best. And that's why people ride these bikes. They jump on it, they test ride it, they have a lot of fun, they smile, and then they look at the bill at the end of it, and then their heart's not broken that they've just dropped 20 grand or something on a bike. It's a solid little, cheap and amazing bike for the money. And Royal Enfield have done an amazing job at bringing a good beginner to intermediate style adventure bike to the market where everybody can love it, everybody can hop on it from all skill levels and have a great time. It is the people's adventure bike, as they would say, and it is lovely. So that's basically all for the video today. I really hope you enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun blasting around this amazingly beautiful park. This is the TECT all-terrain park. It's in Tauranga City, or just out of Tauranga City, up the Pies Pa Road, if you're curious, if you live in New Zealand or if you are coming here. There's a lot to do here, so yeah. I will be doing some more videos out here as I get more comfortable getting into adventure riding and stuff. I've heard there's a couple tracks around here. I just got to find them, so there will be some videos with that and the modifications with the Himalayan. So thank you for watching this video. Make sure to like and subscribe to show your support. Hit the notification bell if you enjoyed this. And yeah, this is Vinny from Road Blast Media.